All right. Hello, everyone. I am JayAvereé with Outside Think. We are here to film our 4th episode of Zoom In, where we are going behind the scenes of artists in the world of entrepreneurship. We're here with DiamondGrl from Grinn Media. Diamond, do you want to say anything before we get started? A little bit about who you are and how you joined Grinn Media, all types of fun stuff like that.
Oh yeah, my name is Diamond, but my stage name is DiamondGrl. I'm a singer-songwriter, visual artist, model, and actress from Columbus, Ohio, and, you know, just being in Jersey and Brooklyn all together was just a magical, fun experience, and it was very, you know, eye-opening in so many different ways I didn't expect, and so, and it taught me to, you know, continue trying new things, and, you know, I enjoyed that, especially with the camera and things like that, just taking different pictures and things like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Nate the Martian with Grinn Media. He's my other CEO of the media. So before we get started, would you like to say a little bit about yourself before we get started with these questions?
Yeah, so my name is Nate the Martian. I'm an alternative hip-hop artist. I do a lot of different things when it comes to music. I've been doing music for about 10 plus years. Started writing when I was 8, got into the studio when I was maybe like 13, 14 years old. And I've been putting Grinn Media together for what, I think 4 or 5 years now? Yeah, just now it's kind of starting to get some traction, but yeah, that's just a little bit about what I do. I'm a guy, I do a lot of things.
That's what's up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. First question, who did people expect you to become when you were just starting out? And how do you see yourself differently now? Before you answer that, I'd like to say we are talking about becoming who they didn't expect. Now.
And it's an interesting question because no one really expected much out of me, just because like I kind of was kept to my own devices. I did my own thing. Nobody really was checking for me.
Right.
So I was just like, I set my own expectations. So I never really had to worry much about that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yep, self-sufficiency. Learn that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. We've got 10 questions for you, girl. All right, so first question, who did people expect you to become when you were just starting out? And how do you see yourself differently now?
Well, when I was first coming out, I mean, more so, I think the expectations were met, but it was more so that I reminded people of Aaliyah when I sing and Left Eye when I rap, and I took that as a compliment because those are my two, you know, inspirations, along with a few other different artists like Anderson .Paak, Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, Stevie Wonder, and like so many different ones.
That's awesome.
And how I see myself differently now is I still have the same influences, but I feel like my style might change a little bit over time throughout years because, you know, life changes and changes up to things like that, but it turns out for the better though.
That's awesome. All right, next question. What has been the most surprising shift in your personal definition of success since stepping into your entrepreneurial or artistic path?
I would say really it's just about, you know, giving yourself more credit, because I'm a person who just like continuously moves. I just work, and I don't usually have the time to kind of like sit down and kind of recognize the gravity of certain work that I'm doing.
Right.
So it's like once things starts to pick up in a business, you kind of are able to be like, okay, I can take a breather and be like, oh, okay, so the shit that I do. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We can put that out.
The things that I do are very important, basically. So, you know, just got to be able to be like, celebrate all the little wins and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs don't give themselves time to really, like, breathe, rest.
Yeah.
I know that I didn't really know the impact that I was making either, so I completely resonate with that. I think it's a beautiful answer. Did you have something else you want to say on that?
Yeah, I think really it's just that work-life balance. Work-life balance is just like a big thing. Even if you have like a regular 9-to-5 job, you can imagine what it's like trying to do media and then also do 9-to-5 job stuff. So it's just kind of like, like time management is... But that's just really all it is.
It's pretty tough, especially when you're managing like a bunch of other entrepreneurs too. So, what has been the most surprising shift in your personal definition of success since stepping into your entrepreneurial or artistic path?
It's the fact that I'm now traveling as much as I want to now. It's something I've been wanting to do for the longest, and now that I'm finally doing it, it's been surprising to me since then.
It's liberating?
Yes.
Yes, stepping into purpose. You go ahead, girl. Next question. How did your community react when you began changing or succeeding in ways they did not anticipate?
Some people embraced me, some people like moved away from me, but it's mainly just because I wasn't really focused on interpersonal dramas. I was very just focused on like a very singular goal, because I'm a goal-oriented person.
Yeah.
So for me, it kind of ended up being one of those things where I was like, how do I put this? Like I said, some people like really embraced me, supported me, gave me all the things, but then people who I thought were big supporters kind of like started reeling back once I was very like, okay, you said you wanted to do this. This is what it's going to take to do this.
Yeah, you don't know it until you're in it. And then, most people want you to make it, but not like pass them.
Yeah, like they want to give you like a little like hip hip hurrah, but they don't want to actually want you to be above them.
Right, you got to be kind of with your team. But I think if I can add to that, if you don't mind, people can win in their respective areas, their respective fields. And if you're supporting everybody in what they do best, then it shouldn't matter if they surpass you. You should want them to. You know, if you're teaching them something, you should want them to be the best at that, better than even you.
Of course.
If you mastered something, when you can actually teach it to somebody else and then have them do better at it than you.
Yeah, no, it's always good. Like, listen, I'm not a person who like knows everything, but I'm just a jack of all trades, master of none. Like I'm familiar with just about everything, and I could kind of know what I'm talking about, but I can't say I'm an expert on everything.
There you go. That'd be self-righteousness. All right. So, what was the pivotal moment when you realized you had to choose between staying small or growing into your full potential? What was that moment? And you're like, you know what? I am that. I'm gonna do it. Was there a specific moment that happened for you?
It was when I was doing just shadow work and things like that, and there was this book I was reading called The Mastery of Self, and this activity I did, I meditated, journaled different things, and then I heard my own voice in my head saying hello, and I was like, oh crap.
Oh.
So that was the way it got me like...
Is your higher self?
Yeah.
Higher self talking to you?
Oh yeah.
Man, higher self be speaking.
Keep going.
That's what we hear. All right, so next question. Have you ever felt pressure to downplay your growth or creativity to keep certain relationships intact?
Usually, but it's just because like I know I'm really good at what I do, so I'm just like I just say like I don't take myself too seriously. Just because like look, I'm just a dude, I'm just a guy. Like I happen to make really good art that people enjoy. And that makes me happy, and I'm cool with that. I don't really try to look at it anywhere past that, because the minute I do, that's where all the ego starts to come in. I'm just kind of just grateful for what I do have. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of the way I approach that.
Yes, make sure you're expressing your authentic self, and that you are happy with your work, and then the right people will be happy with your work too.
Correct.
That's beautiful. So what type of artistic or creative expression feels most authentic to your story right now?
Music, for sure, especially with everything we did with the showcase and the Brooklyn Jam session. That was very just liberating for me.
What was your favorite part about it? I know she had a table of art too, because she's an amazing painter. Don't forget that. But yeah, what was your favorite moment about that?
Just connecting with different artists who have similar interests in music, cool styles, and things like that, and can just connect on a, very creative level and whatnot.
That's awesome. Resonance. All right, so next question. What type of artistic or creative expression feels most authentic to your story right now?
I have no clue. I think that's the thing. Like, because my artistic expression and creativity changes like at the drop of a hat. Like, it just depends on where I'm at, what I'm going through at that time, and then it could be like genre-wise, it could be something. Let's say I could do a country influenced song for fun, and then the next minute do like heavy metal just because I feel like it. Because I don't like to get married to ideas. I'm just like, whatever I feel works is what works.
All right, cool, accepted. So, how has stepping into visibility challenged your sense of self, and how do you stay grounded through it?
I do a lot of meditating and journaling, and I see angel numbers that reminds me I'm on the right path pretty much. I pay attention to those things.
Yeah.
I just remain true to myself for the most part too.
That's good. Always remain true to yourself. How has stepping into visibility challenged has stepping into your visibility challenged your sense of self, and how do you stay grounded through it?
Interesting. I think that staying grounded, like when stepping into that visibility, like, you know, because it made me realize kind of who I was, like kind of stepping into the visibility of being able, like I said earlier, giving myself more credit for the things that I do. And then like kind of staying grounded through that is just kind of like understanding kind of like what I do it for. Because it's kind of like, yeah, you know, I love my art, I love what I do, but like one of the things that I've always said, like for many years, is I always say first for self, second for those you care for. So it's just like always putting like you have to care for yourself, but then like if you actually care about those things, if you actually care about yourself, then you're going to take care of others as well, and vice versa.
Because your cup cannot run over unless it is full.
Yeah, so
or unless you don't pour into cups that have holes in them either.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, look, be around the people who actually like want to be around you instead of trying to force yourself to be around people who like have no business like wanting to see you grow or anything of that nature.
That was a very, very great thing to say. Thank you for that. How do you continue to create space for yourself when the world expects you to be someone else?
I continue staying true to myself, never pretend to be someone I'm not, because, you know, that's not gonna help me in the long run. Being open and honest, honest and just, you know, loud and proud, that's what'll make a difference, pretty much.
What's one stereotype or box you've had to break out of while building your brand, business, or artistic platform?
I think it's just the stereotype or box I kind of had to break out of simply was, I would say, that what I do has to be limited, that I have to go to a certain market, that I have to do these things with certain people, right? There was people saying, this is the blueprint, this is what you have to do, but I'm like, hey, that doesn't work for me though, so I kind of have to make my own thing and just figure it out along the way. I didn't like being told I have to do something a certain way. I also have a problem with authority. So like, it's just, I hate being told what to do.
I mean, it is hard, like being an artist and entrepreneur when you are actually creating something new. You have to be original, and you kind of have to go against the naysayers a little bit because you have to teach them what they don't already know or see.
Yeah, because I know what I know, but not everybody else knows what I know, so I can't be mad that they don't know what I know.
Yeah, and then sometimes you don't even know what you know until you get there, and sometimes it could be an accident.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah, because like some people will be like, we enjoy your presence and all these things that you've done and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what did I do? I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm just kind of existing. So, but it's nice of you to say that, though.
Sometimes great things come out of accidents.
You don't go back. I'm all with it, yeah.
Okay, next. How do you continue to create space for yourself when the world expects you to be someone else?
I just take my time to myself. Like, I chill out, play my video games, I go to the gym. I just take time to just appreciate the art for what it is without being always in the art. As much as I love art, as much as that is like my entire existence, right? I have to be able to appreciate art by stepping away from it.
Yeah.
Because you can't appreciate something if you're always in it all the time.
You get tired of it.
Yeah, and then it gets annoying, and then I'm just like, okay, well, now I don't like this anymore.
Yeah, you know, you don't wanna work. You don't wanna have your artistic, creative abilities become work. But then again, this is work, and it is fun.
But that's the thing. I understand where the line is, where like when things need to get done, versus I just really enjoy what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm out here, I know I'm working, I know I'm doing things, but you know, at the end of the day, like, I wouldn't be out here if I didn't at least enjoy what I was doing.
That's true.
So even with all the stress that comes with it, I'm just kind of like, you know what, look, at least I'd rather be doing this than working some 9-to-5 job and just hating it every day. Yeah,
that'll take your creativity away from you.
Yeah, and like, luckily my creativity stayed with me for the most part just because I'm hard-headed.
That's okay sometimes. We soften up. Sometimes it's good, but I'm hard-headed too, so we got it, and that's why we are here. But, alright, so next question. What would you say to someone afraid to evolve because they don't want to disappoint the people around them?
Just do it. Not even I was like, just like to quote Nike, but literally it's just kind of like, I mean it in like, the more you think about doing something, the less you're actually going to do it. So it's kind of like, you kind of have to have motion. Like, it's kind of like, you start to fear and then you freeze. But like, if you freeze, then like how you gonna be hot? How you gonna be popping? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the way that I've always looked at it. So it's just kind of like, bro, if you have that idea, if you have that thing that you want to do.
Is there anything else that you want to say for our followers, subscribers here that are maybe following your footsteps or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, if you want to follow me on all my social media platforms, it is King X Martian. That is KINGX Martian, not Martin, because for some people, for some reason, they spell it like the '90s TV show, and I don't really get that. But yeah, I have an album that recently dropped. It's called Cul-de-sac Brat. Dropped it on my birthday last year. It's my second studio album.
Awesome.
And generally speaking, all I want to say is just, like I said, just do the things that you genuinely want to do, and I promise that the results will follow. Even if it doesn't seem like it at the time, you have to have the faith that, like, okay, it's gonna work out. As much as it may seem awful at times, you gotta be able to be like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out.
Yeah, you definitely have to have some faith in your talents that are given to you by God, divine, whatever you believe in.
Hey, I wouldn't be here if I didn't. I promise you that.
All right, everyone. Well, I am JayAvereé with Outside Think. We build brands outside Think with the C because you cannot contain creativity inside of a box. And this is Outside Think here with Grinn Media, and we are out.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.